Oh my goodness. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Double checking my mic because I clicked a button. I think I'm okay. Can you hear me?
You're okay.
All right, good. Awesome. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. And thank you, Eric, for being here last week for me. You guys know I was out and about. We're going to talk about that today a little bit. It was a really long time to be away from home. I don't think, honestly, I've been away that long before. And, you know, it started out as a trip to New York to see some friends, to see some former students who are making their name on the old Broadway, as Eric and I have been saying lately. So it was really a joy to be able to see them. And then originally had a flight scheduled just, you know, to come back to Orlando on Monday of last week. But I had not seen my mom and my other family members since my nephew passed away. We flew back for the funeral. And obviously that's not a great time to visit. It's, you know, other priorities during those times. So I kind of went, well, you know what? Let me just fly to Virginia. And then candidly, Southwest used to have a flight from Orlando to Norfolk twice a day, nonstop. For years and years. And then when I went to try to figure out a flight back, I couldn't find a direct flight. And so my flight back, the soonest I could get a direct flight that I was comfortable with was on Saturday, mid-afternoon, I guess. So anyway, so I got to spend Monday through Saturday morning with my mom and my sisters and my brother and my sister-in-law and brother-in-law and nieces and nephews and grandnieces and nephews, and it was absolutely wonderful. So I feel a bit lost a little bit. I was working while I was gone. It was not a vacation in the sense where I was disconnected by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, on my first day in New York, I get there and I'm unpacking. I'm getting all my cords situated. I bought a cord organizer. By the way, I have some travel anxiety.
Some.
Okay. It's kind of off the chart bad. Like, I'll put it this way. I either nearly, almost, or did pass out on my first flight to get to New York. I will tell you for a fact, I was dizzy. I was losing my balance and I fell into my seat. And there I sat without moving for the 2-hour flight. We can get into that later if you're interested. But at any rate, So I don't even know where I was going with that now. Travel anxiety. Oh, so the cords. So I'm trying to get everything squared away. I'm trying to plug in my computer because, again, even though I'm away, I still have work to do. I told all of my clients, do not hesitate to reach out. I'm still working. It just may take me a little bit, you know, like during certain times I'll be in the middle of a Broadway show and maybe I can't answer. But other than that, I'm available. Certainly available when I was at my mom's house. So anyway, so I'm like, oh, great. I can't find my computer charger. I'm down to 18%. So I went down to the front desk at the hotel. I asked if there was a place in all of the New York City streets, if there was a place that carried an Apple, what do you call it? The computer charger. And they're like, well, there's a Best Buy. And I'm kind of freaking out. I'm like, well, I don't know what your Best Buy looks like, but the kind of Best Buy that I'm used to, I don't know how that could be here on the streets of New York. So anyway, I found it, you know, lovely iPhone. I got my directions to Best Buy. I got there. It was a little bit of a walk, but I did it. But then, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. So when we were leaving, instead of backtracking, which is probably what I should have done, I, you know, put the, you know, directions back to my hotel on my phone. But unfortunately, it was driving directions and not walking directions. And with the one-way streets, it took me all I can tell you is that it got very, very, very cold, very, very, very windy. And then in front of me is water and a giant ship. And at that point, I figured I had gone a bit off course. So I got a little nervous, but I figured it out. I got back to my hotel, all is well. But at any rate, so yes, I was definitely working to the point where I had to go track down a computer charger cable first thing once I arrived. But yeah, so the travel anxiety is real. So ultimately what happens is that I don't eat when I travel. I try to pretty much stop eating about 24 hours before I leave. And I won't really eat until I get where I'm going. And even then, sometimes I'm very, very cautious about what I eat. And so, true story, every single restaurant that we all went to eat, they're eating these amazing Italian meals beside me. The chicken parm was like killing me beside me, but I ate nothing. Like I sat with nothing in front of me. And that's the way I travel. It's a real thing. So, one of the reasons I don't do a lot of, outward events and things like that. Just I don't know. It's just crazy. But anyway, so welcome. Thank you for joining me. And yes, it is my birthday. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. I am the big 5-5 today, so I am officially allowed to go to a 55 plus community if I so choose. But you know, we have this house, so I'm pretty happy here. So I've got some flowers behind me, some flowers that Eric gave me when he met me at the airport to pick me up, with not only flowers, but an Auntie Anne's almond pretzel and a McDonald's combo with the Diet Coke. So he had all the things that Miss Amy needs when she landed, including some beautiful flowers. My friend Jen Ross popped by last night unexpected. It's very sweet. She popped over and gave me some flowers and a beautiful candle. That's what's right over here. The little candle is so cute. It smells really good. I didn't have it lit yet, mostly because I wanted you to see the top. It says Amy. And then it says, "You are seriously awesome." So that's very sweet. So thank you, Jen Ross, for that. And my card. And then my other card over there is from my friend Chip. Anyway, and lots of birthday wishes from you. So thank you so much. I've been getting some messages, and I wanted to share this one with you because I am just totally like I say in love. I just mean I absolutely adore Adam Christman. So let's take a look at the birthday wish he sent me first thing this morning when I woke up.
It's your birthday, Amy. I feel like we're so busy and I miss it. But today's your birthday. I didn't miss it. But I want to get you something. I love you. Happy birthday, my love. You're doing such great work. So proud of all the great work you're doing, your family. I'm always following you, thinking of you. I was in Orlando last 2 weeks ago for the conference. But I'll be there last week of May. Chris and I will be on vacation there too. But I'm traveling all over now. It's crazy. But I love it. And we love you. Do you say hi to Aunt Amy? Clark W. Griswold, give love. He goes, "I want your oatmeal." Love you. Mwah. Happy birthday.
So, Adam, so by the way, Eric is trying to fix the
thing over your face.
I know. Where it's coming from. So we have a window over here to the side, and I have blinds. I think I'm just going to have to get a retractable shade. I kind of held off because I wanted to be able to control the amount of light coming in, but it's not super conducive to our Monday mornings where the sun is in the sky this time of year. So maybe if I just sit back or go, I have to like kind of here. I'll just freeze. Anyway, so that is Dr. Adam Christman. So he is a veterinarian. I have to tell you, this is an absolute perfect example of my Heart and Home Orlando family. He is not someone I knew before. Well, I guess he is still a veterinarian in New Jersey, but he is a rock star. And he does all sorts of things out and about. He's like a speaker and does all this stuff. Oh my gosh, he's amazing. But he called me, years ago. I think, as we all do, kind of like to have the dream of moving to Florida sometimes, even if it's just for your own vacation home. He certainly visits Orlando quite a bit. They're definitely Disney lovers. But yeah, he just called me one day and we just talked. He's like, "I think you're my sister from another mother." And Adam and I have been dear friends for years now. And we send each other random little, video chats like that one and gifts. I actually have his birthday gift and his Christmas gift that are still sitting in my house because I forgot to mail them. But at any rate, so Adam, thank you. And by the way, he's hysterical. So you should follow him. If you have some fur babies of your own, follow Dr. Adam Christman. He has some incredible information and he's so funny and charismatic and I just adore him. So anyway, and so for my mug of the day, by the way, I bought so many mugs while I was gone. So this is the one I chose for today because I was in New York, the Big Apple. So this is my mug for today with my coffee. There's really coffee in it. You see how creamy it is? Oh my gosh, like that probably doesn't look like coffee to anybody else but me. But anyway, so this is my mug of the day, but I did buy several mugs, and I guess I'll share them with you as we kind of go throughout the weeks. I got a mug for every show that we saw. Anyway, so just real quick, back to the real estate part. We'll talk about that too. So just as a reminder, if you have any questions, put the capital Q with the colon to put your question in there, and we'll get to a few of those. But I want to tell you about some of the shows that I saw. So I have all my playbills right here. Okay, I'm gonna maneuver so that I'm not where the sun is. So the first one that I saw was MJ. So if you're not familiar, MJ, well, first of all, Michael Jackson, duh. But it is a musical on Broadway, and I have to tell you, absolutely amazing. I'm first of all, I mean, I'm of the generation where, you know, Michael Jackson is not only iconic, but he is a part of my life. You know, it's like you think about the music and growing up, but the actual musical was amazing. Just off the chart, awesome. And we ended up seeing the understudy for the lead. And first of all, Michael Jackson is not a character, He's not a person that just anybody can try to portray that character, right? That's very, 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 very difficult. But we saw the understudy to the lead. We were a little bit disappointed about that. We went because, one of the former Governor School students, Tavon was he played the Michael Jackson, like the 13-year-old version of Michael Jackson during the musical. Big role, but he unfortunately was not in when we saw it. But we did see the understudy to the lead, and I have to tell you, he was so amazing. I can't even imagine what it would have been like had the actual lead been in, because you know, I'm just telling you, if you're going to New York, add that to your list. We also saw this one, which is And Juliet. This is really cool. This is a funny version of Romeo and Juliet, and what would happen if it didn't end the way it was supposed to end. Again, the leads are amazing. One of our former students, Veronica Odom, is in this musical, so we went to go see her, and we had some picture taken. And I'll show you some of those pictures in a little bit. I think Eric may have shown you some of the pictures last week, but at any rate,
They're on the thing if you push a button.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't. He's fussing at me. I don't know where they are.
You have a button with the picture of
Where's
New York City. There's a picture of
New York City?
There
Okay,
you go.
there we go. All right. Well, that's not the right one, but that's okay.
Okay, but
So
then
that's
you can click through.
okay.
Remember? I said
Yes,
click on
yes.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. I still don't see it. Anyway, so this is And Juliet. So we saw that one. We saw Funny Girl. We did not have a student in Funny Girl, but you got to go see Leah Michelle. I have to tell you, she was absolutely flawless. I was not a person that really watched Glee religiously. I certainly saw a few episodes. It was just, you know, I guess generationally speaking, I wasn't really drawn to it as much as a lot of people were. But she is undeniably a powerhouse. And yes, ma'am, Maggie. But Funny Girl was freaking amazing. Some Like It Hot. We saw this one. This is pretty much like old school musical. Loved it. Again, we got to see with Some Like It Hot. We saw, I believe the entire cast was the original cast in this one. It was awesome. And then this one is Six. And this is the picture. And I will figure out how to scroll through those. He told me I have to click off of them. So that right there that we're standing with is Nasia Thomas. She plays Anna of Cleves, which is the fourth wife. So this whole musical is based around Henry VIII's 6 wives. Very, very cool. It is very much like a concert. There's 6 characters. It's not the big, it's big, flashy show, but it is,
It's hilarious.
it's driving Eric nuts. These things keep falling. We're trying to block the sun. Anyway, I could just sit this way. Can I sit this way? Anyway, so this is about the 6 wives, and she plays the 4th wife, and Anna of Cleves. And I just have to tell you, I mean, just absolutely amazed. These are all students, by the way. Back in my day when I was a dance teacher, prior to living in Florida, I had a dance studio. In addition to my dance studio, I taught at the Governor's School for the Arts. And those students are just, you know, kind of their life's passion was to go do something with their, to hone their art and their skill, and then to go do something with it. And congratulations, they did. So I'm going to see if I can do this right. So that's the one with Nasia. And then this is the one. Okay, good. I did it, honey. You'll be so proud of me. So this is Andrew Nellen, another one of our students. He is in Book of Mormon, and he is what we call the swing. The swing is an incredibly difficult position in a show. I used to be a dance swing in the shows that I was in before, and it means that basically you have to know everybody's part. You have your cast of characters that you have to know everything, every line, every song, every piece of blocking, every bit of choreography, the timing. It's a very difficult role, essentially, to have. And, you have to be incredibly versatile and incredibly adept at being able to retain that and to switch on and off in a moment. Anyway, so that was Andrew in Book of Mormon. We did not get to see him, unfortunately. He was not in the day that we were there, but he was so kind to come meet us after we had seen another show and to pop over so we could visit him. And he told me he's 24 now, and I just think he's lying. I still did not know how these kids got that old. So anyway, so the New York version of the trip was phenomenal. By the way, that is Mark Hudgens and Jeff Warner that I'm with. The other picture showed Chip Gallagher. Let me click off of that one. This is Jeff and I went to go see Anne Juliet. The girl in the middle is Veronica. She plays Lady, who does she play? Lady Capulet, I think. And then Capulet. And then let's see, what's this one? That's nothing. So there we go. All right. So anyway, so that was my New York version. Let's move on to some other things, and then we'll talk a little bit about Virginia as well. So let's talk about what's brewing today while I get a chance to take a peek at all of your cute little notes over here. So here is what's brewing today. Okay, so the New York part, we just talked about New York to Virginia. We'll talk about Virginia here in a little bit, but yeah, so that trip was pretty amazing. We were there Thursday through Monday morning. We left. We flew out of JFK. Weather was pretty daggone cold, so I understand all of you that live up north why you might feel the warm air drawing you in. It was pretty chilly, I don't mind telling you. And at night you'd go into the show and then you'd come out and it would be so much colder. So those of you that live out and about and around New York or anywhere up north, I felt your pain a little bit. Now there was no snow when I was there, so I don't feel all of your pain because some of you were like, lots of snow happening. But at any rate, come on down. We're happy to have you here in Florida. It's beautiful weather. I was out yesterday. My daughter and son-in-law popped over. Everybody's in shorts, and I'm like, yeah, we're back home again. So, at any rate, so yes, I did kind of, preemptively pop into here we go with the thing again, with the New York trip. But as far as the other part of what's brewing, we have R.I.P. Chester. Oh my gosh, this is so sad. So if you don't know who Chester is a gigantic, what is he, a 20-foot? What is he? He's giant.
16 feet. Yeah,
it's playing. Huge alligator. And I believe originally he was in Tampa, and people did exactly what they were not supposed to do, which is to feed the alligator. People, please do not feed alligators. They are a wild animal, and you are not supposed to feed them because then they start to associate humans with food. And that's what happened. He was considered what they call a nuisance alligator. And by the way, this is crazy. The video, by the way, is Gatorland, because instead of putting Chester to sleep when he became a nuisance alligator in an area where it was residential, I mean, he ended up, I believe, attacking some dogs. So that's kind of why they're like, okay, we need to do something with Chester. Gatorland said, you know what, we'll take him. So that he's been there and been a main attraction for a long time. That unfortunately, I guess it was in December, Chester crawled up onto his little sunning rock and sunned himself, and just passed away peacefully. By the way, this picture with the kids running, there is a glass thing there. Eric said the first time he saw it, he was freaking out, going, "What are you doing?" But there's a glass barrier there. So anyway, so R.I.P. Chester. That actually is pretty sad. You know, I'm not a big fan of gators at all, but you know, it's still sad, and definitely one of the iconic pieces to Gatorland. If you've never been to Gatorland, it's usually something that people like to put on their to-do list here when they come and visit in Orlando. All right, and now our final What's Brewing is the Tiki Docks update. Okay, so way back when, depending on how long you've been following our videos and paying attention to kind of what's happening in the Horizon West area, in the very beginning, all part of this master plan was going to be some lakeside restaurants and dining. Originally, I think they were even going to do a marina. I'm not sure the exact terms and what that means, but I think originally they were going to have like the docks, and they were going to, like, you can be able to regas your boat, and then they changed it so that you don't do that. But at any rate, Tiki Docks, the newer version, is ready to go. Well, it's not ready to go. It's here is the new rendering of what it's going to look like. So Tiki Docks is going to be on Lake Hancock, right here in the Hamlin area. Hold on, Hamlin. So Tiki Docks is going to be right there. Take a look at the artist rendering video of this. Beautiful aesthetic, and look at that water back behind it. So you're going to have indoor and outdoor dining. Really going to be beautiful. This is all kind of tucked away, you know, kind of in that Hamlin area, in that Hamlin shopping area. There's like Sinopolis. There's some things that are on that side. And then this is going to be back kind of in the general direction. But look at that. Looks like there's going to be a big, is it like a fire pit? Really beautiful. So we're super excited about that. Obviously, it is not started yet. It's not completed yet. But it is another example of the wonderful things that draw people to this area, and the growth that we still have to explore here. And there's so much more coming, not just in, you know, residential real estate and in commercial real estate as well. Really kind of just, you know, we've got this beautiful, delicious cupcake, and everything else that comes is just going to continue to add wonderful, delicious layers to it. So we're very excited about that. So we're happy that they put out that video to kind of, you know, give us a heads up on what that's going to look like. So while we're at it, let me do a quick peek just to see if there's anything, any questions at the moment. What do I want for my birthday? Okay, Eric. I'm home. That's really all I wanted. You know, like I said, 10 days it was a long time for me to be away. I don't know when I've been away for 10 days before. Maybe when our family went to England, Ireland, and Wales. But even then, I think it was like a 9-day trip, and we were traveling, you know, out of the country. But I did get to spend some time. So real quick, the trip to Virginia, like I said, originally I was going to fly back from JFK to Orlando, but then I kind of thought about it. I was like, well, you know what? This is kind of a good opportunity for me to stop in the middle and hit Virginia and see my mom and my family. And so I changed my flight, went to Virginia. Honestly, it was just so nice catching up with my mom. You know, it's several days we just got up in our pajamas, we sat, we had breakfast, and we ended up talking at the same table until it was lunchtime. So that was really nice. You know, we don't get a lot of time to do that. And I think when my nephew passed away, it really kind of gave all of us, as it does everyone, when you lose someone so unexpectedly, that you kind of reevaluate priorities and you know, understanding that family is forever, and that you know, not all families are what we see on the Hallmark channels, and you know, they all have their own dynamic, and but that it was really nice to go back and to see everyone. And my brother and sister-in-law came over 3 times. My sister, I have 2 sisters. One sister came over a couple times. The other sister came over a couple of times. My niece and her husband and her 2 kids came over. My nephew came over, and my other niece and nephew. It was like a lot of fun to see family. We went out to dinner a couple of times. We ate in a couple of times. And honestly, originally I thought I was going to drive around a little bit more. I had thought I was going to go back to see my childhood home and maybe take a picture of it and share it with everybody. And I was going to go down to the beach because, I was a beach girl. Not that I was going to go on the beach because it was too cold, but, just to drive around and kind of explore the area. But honestly, I didn't. It was just, it was just so nice to be able to sit and relax. And like I said, I had some work to do. A couple of days I had some phone calls. So it was a lot of fun. And I am very grateful to my family for kind of rallying around and breaking their normal routine and schedule to pop over and visit. So, but I'm back home now. I do have some Virginia mugs that I got at the airport because I am that touristy person. And by the way, speaking of mugs, I know I already showed you this one, but I did get a coffee mug for each of the shows that I saw. So I'll share those with you kind of later on. Okay. Kim has a question. Let me see about this one. Any word on the lagoon pools that were supposed to be built in the area?
Not really. This last article is like 2021.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, not really since the last kind of any info that was sent out was in 2021. So a lot of times things just kind of go a little bit hush hush because they have to revamp. They might have to, zoning or just redesigning, kind of like very similar to the whole lakeside restaurant thing. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. So very much like the lakeside, like the Tiki docks, like what originally was conceptually planned, it had to be altered over the course of the years. So this is the latest that we had, and this was 2021. So this is the developer aims to open public access crystal lagoons in Orlando, but that's pretty much all we've heard at this point. We do have some other things coming to that Hamlin area. We still have the Tiger Woods golf thing coming up. So super excited about a lot of that. So, all right, let me pop back over here. I'm still getting used to, I'm back home, guys. So I'm like getting back to my little doo-wah. By the way, Eric worked so hard at getting all of these buttons and everything's ready for me to push. So my apologies that I'm not quick.
Find them.
And I'm trying to find them.
Congratulations.
I am getting ready to do congratulations. I was actually what I was getting ready to push right now. So here is our congratulations for this week. Okay, so Bill and Ruth and John and Terry. So these are some clients I have that, oh boy, have they been waiting patiently. They are both building in the same community. Webb Oasis. So they've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And we are finally, my friends, we are finally getting to the point of some forward motion for their specific home sites. There has been forward motion in the community, just, it takes a while to get to specific home sites. So congratulations to them. They're not closed yet. They haven't even started, but we're getting ready to get started, starting those pre-construction meetings with the builders. So we're super excited about that. And then Dawson and the class of 2023. So Dawson is my youngest. He's my baby. He is a senior in high school, and they do handprints. So at West Orange High School, and I guess other high schools do this maybe across the country. Even other schools here in the area have started to take the idea from West Orange. And all of the seniors can paint their parking spaces. So they painted the parking spaces, and I believe we showed you that kind of at the beginning of the school year. We went and we painted Dawson's parking spot at school. But then they have all along the sidewalks, they have handprints of each of the graduating classes. So the white one right to the right of the screen, that white one kind of with the hole in the middle, that is Dawson's handprint. So that's just very exciting. They, they get to do that and leave their mark, quite literally at the school. And it's kind of one of those little senior privileges and perks that you kind of wait for and you anticipate. So, so not just Dawson, but to all of those kids for the class of 2023. We've talked before, everyone has that experience with COVID in the class of 2020, which happened to be my daughter. She was a high school senior in 2020, so she didn't get the graduation. She did get to do the handprint and the parking space, but then beyond that, everything kind of went kaput. But it's just, it's really nice. School is very different now. It's certainly different than it was when we were kids for many, many reasons. Just, as the world progresses, as times change, as technology advances. But it has definitely changed for kids of all ages and stages, from pre-K, daycare, to high school to college to grad school. You know, the changes that they have had to endure since COVID as well has been really difficult. So kudos to all those teachers. I actually spoke with a new client yesterday on the phone. He's been a high school English teacher. I think he said for like 26 years ish in Northern Virginia. And so gosh, to all you teachers out there that also have to adapt to all of those things that I just said, kudos to you as well. But a big congratulations to the entire class of 2023. You know, those kids are our future. It might freak you out a little bit, and it might actually give you some calm that, you know, you might look at them and go, you know, look at these teenagers today, except tell me who it is when you can't figure out something on your phone, on the remote or the computer. Who do you go to first? You go to the teenager, right? And they've got it fixed in 2 seconds. So there's hope, my friends. Okay, so that being said, Eric, you want me to do Zillow next? I'm going to do Zillow next because Zillow is good. Okay, so this one is an interesting listing in Philadelphia, $325,000, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's only 1,234 square feet. It's kind of like a brownstone-y look idea, kind of, you know, with the front, but take a look. So the video is done via drone, like the little drone that's been programmed to fly through. So the interior has been completely redone. Absolutely gorgeous. Love it. They have basements there, so you can see that. The bathrooms have been updated. Really, truly beautiful. Flooring, the stairs, but then go take a peek outside. Well, that's a graveyard right behind the house. So now, full disclosure, they disclose it, right? I mean, the home is beautiful, and clearly that's not the only home that backs up to a cemetery. But I mean, wow. First of all, again, the interior is just stunning, you know, and we are kind of, you know, depending on where you live, you sometimes have to, I think this is cute. I love the way that ends. Fly, Eagles, fly. And then you got the New York Giants in the graveyard. That's kind of cute. But, but at any rate, I really think it was a very clever way to not only showcase the home, to see all the beautiful updates that they had done inside, but to disclose the fact that it backed up to, you know, that it backed up to a cemetery. I'm just going to take this away. So tell me what your thoughts are on that. I mean, obviously cemeteries are around. There's actually a community in Oakland that I was really amazed that the builder was building a community right there beside a cemetery, and I wasn't sure how desirable it was going to be. You know, so what are your thoughts? So that's something you can let me know here in the comments. Does something like that bother you? Again, full disclosure to the listing agent on that one. It was a great video. It was a great way to showcase the home, not only the positives of all of the beautiful updates on the inside, but then to be completely transparent about, here's the backyard. You have a deck, and the deck overlooks a cemetery. So what are your thoughts on that? Let me know kind of if that would be a deterrent, or if it's, you know, really not a big deal to you at all. So anyway, and by the way, I'm looking at all of these messages. You guys are so sweet. Thank you again for all of your birthday wishes. I like, seriously, there's so many of them. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Yes, dear?
Just if you go way to the bottom, then there's...
Yeah, I'm looking. Just good morning, Amy. Pre-drywall this
all the way
week.
to the bottom.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kind
No,
of...
but you asked a question and people have answered it. So.
I kind of love graveyards, Kim says. You know, exactly. They're different. Was it different strokes, different folks? Yeah, absolutely. There are some people that have no problem with that. I mean, I think there's something really amazing historically with them, and I've mentioned it before. I love kind of the old homes and old areas, and imagining the families that lived there and the joy and the sorrow that they shared. And so I don't know how. I mean, I don't know if I'd want it in my backyard, but I don't know that it would bother me anywhere else. At least the neighbors would be quiet. Okay, that's well, well, you never know.
That's just a question.
Yeah, question. Ben, hi, Amy. Any news on Toll Brothers West Haven renovations? It's still the same old hurry up and wait. Getting closer, but yeah, pretty much. Sorry. I have a client who is kind of in the same situation, just kind of sitting there and waiting. They also signed the addendum to extend beyond the 2-year period. They did get an additional closing cost contribution to kind of help assist with that. But, it's frustrating. And I've said it before, and I understand. I have this problem, although I also think it's a good thing. I always think from different perspectives. I'm thinking of my clients and how patient they've had to be, and the emotional turmoil and the uncertainty of when it's going to be completed, and when they get to move on with their life, and when they get to start getting the fun, exciting updates that we send to all of our clients who have homes that are under construction. And then you think of the builder's perspective. It's like, well, they wanted to get the community up and running and pre-selling as fast as possible. They didn't really expect the situation to happen. So it's not something that they're intentionally doing. But I don't know. It's a little frustrating from everybody's perspective. So I feel your pain. I really do. It's quite frustrating. But yeah, just hang in there. It'll get better at some point in time. Marcia says, no romance in looking at the cemetery. I agree with that. Kim says, I would rather have a cemetery than a highway or power lines behind my house. That's a very good point. And there are definitely a lot of homes. We've actually been seeing some. I've had some clients that have had to determine whether or not they wanted to move forward on that home site because there was huge power lines back behind them. So you're exactly right. There could be other things less appealing or, more disruptive, large structures, as opposed to just, like in that case, just kind of, land with the headstones. Yeah. So I like that. That makes sense to me. Miss Arlene, I used to live across the street from a cemetery for some years, and I even go over the cemetery and drove through the cemetery so it wouldn't bother me. Well, that's good. Again, that's, to each their own. We don't get to determine where those cemeteries are. And so when we as people decide to develop around them, then we need to do so with that in mind, right? We need to know, well, you're developing land right beside a cemetery. The cemetery was there first in most cases, right? Anyway, so, okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this off. All right. So again, don't forget, if you've got any questions, let me know. And again, I'm just looking at all of these comments. So again, thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. Somebody, I think, asked, if not, maybe it was a text message earlier, but somebody asked what I'm going to do for my birthday.
It was me.
You did?
No, I asked what you want. Sorry.
Oh, you asked me what I wanted. You did have a question earlier though that I am going to answer, and that was a good one. So for my birthday today, I actually am going to. Well, I have to go do some real estate stuff. I have a phone call. Actually, I think it's a phone call. No, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, I got some work stuff to do today. Yes, I do at noon. I have a few things to do today, work related, but I don't really have any plans. Like I said, I'm not really a social person. I'm just mostly excited to be back home. I don't know about you, but I like to nest. As soon as I get back home, I was like, I'm cleaning my kitchen. I'm doing laundry. I just kind of like to be back home again and settle into my nest. So mostly I'm going to try to enjoy the day just by not being overwhelmed with lots of other stuff, because I do have a pretty busy week ahead of me. People are in town. I got several different clients that are in town, and kind of going from there. So, and then I did have a question. Eric actually asked.
I'll wait for the promo to go away, sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
You know where I'm going with that question.
Yes, I do. And I appreciate you asking it. So Eric asked me, where'd it go? Eric asked, what areas can you help buy a home? And you know where I'm going with this. Yes, I do. So thank you, Eric, for that question. Okay, so as a real estate agent here, by the way, it is realtor. I have to say this because Adam Chrisman is not a veterinarian; he's a veterinarian, and I am not a realtor. I'm a realtor. So that's just the way you're supposed to pronounce it. Anyway, so as a licensed real estate agent, I actually can help you buy or sell anywhere in the entire state of Florida, and I have sold in areas that are far outside of my comfort zone. I have sold vacant land in the Everglades. I have sold up in Jacksonville. I've sold pretty much everywhere. However, you have to understand that people come to me because I am well-versed and experienced in the areas that they are potentially looking. The further out you go, the more difficult it is for me to give you the same in-depth information that I do to my clients who are looking in the areas that, that I am typically in. And the reason Erica's asking is because I do have clients sometimes. I've got someone in town right now, and they're sending me listings for places that are like 2.5 hours away. So while, yes, I can assist, and there'd be a lot of realtors that would just be, I don't know how to say this properly without sounding weird. I would rather refer you, put it this way. I would rather, because I want you to have the best situation possible. You're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you've decided that Orlando is not your area and the relatively convenient outskirts of it, which is my nugget, right? If you want to go a little bit further, I want to make sure I refer you to a realtor who is well-versed in that area, because I don't want you to get into a home and not know what that area is like. And, I can't best serve a client if it's an area that I'm not as familiar with. Certainly there are exceptions to that. And I'm certainly happy and willing to help you wherever. But, it doesn't necessarily mean that I can drive 5 hours away to show you that one resale home. So when we talk about the areas, so obviously just think Orlando, Winter Garden, Windermere, Winter Park, Ocoee, Apopka, Claremont, Mineola, Groveland, Mascot. I don't know, where else am I missing? Maitland, Howie in the Hills. I mean, we're starting to branch out a little bit further. Lake Mary, those areas are, and Lake Nona. Those are all kind of my area. And obviously the areas that you see me feature the most are the ones that are in my what we call farming area. It's my like backyard, so to speak. So it's kind of where I focus the majority of my work, because it's where most of my clients decide that that's where they want to be. And that's where most of my videos are. So that was a good question. And the reason we say that is because you do have to understand that when you are looking for a realtor, you do want to find one that is active in the area that you're looking and can advise you properly. That's why you have a realtor, right? You want their advice and their input and their knowledge. And if you choose a place that's, 5 hours away from where I live, I can help you through the transaction, but that's more what it is a transaction. And I'm way too heart connected to the process and the person to just make it transactional and not as informative as I like to be, candidly. But anyway, all right. So we're going to move on here, see if there's any other questions. And if not, we're going to have an early show. We don't. I know. I'm going to say, I'm going to do my what I'm watching. I was just looking to see. Okay, so here's what I'm watching, and you'll be surprised. It's something new this time. I got to find it, though. Here it is. Okay, so I am still watching Madam Secretary, but because of the New York and Virginia trip, it's like I watched a little bit on my computer, but it's not the same as watching it on the TV. So I only watched a few episodes while I was gone. However, last night when I got home, I was actually calling up Netflix to find Madam Secretary to finish watching a few episodes. And then this popped up. It's called The Snow Girl. It was only 6 episodes. So I was like, you know what? I have a leisurely day. Let me try to find this. Maybe I can crank out all 6 episodes, which I did. And it's a foreign, I don't really know language because we did the English, subtitles and voiceover. So, but it's just about a little girl that went missing, and kind of the story behind it, and the mystery of finding her, happy ending and everything. But it was a good one. I mean, again, it was 6 episodes. That was kind of perfect for me because it gives me something to do to occupy myself, but I'm not in it for the long haul. I do like shows like Madam Secretary that have multiple seasons, because that's just kind of like a long time, like just churning through it. But every once in a while, I like the little more segmented one. So excited about that one. Okay, Eric, did you say something else to me though, babe? Oh, the Dunkin' Donuts question. Yes. So was it Ben? Somebody asked a question about Dunkin' Donuts, when the Dunkin' Donuts is going to open in Flamingo Crossings. So by the way, yeah, right? I'm like so excited about that. I can't wait for it. So it should be open any day. It's not open yet, but boy, it looks like it's like imminent. So we're hoping to, be able to have yet another place to visit. We have the New York Beer Project. I think we talked about that, opened a while back, not too terribly long ago, but that's become a great spot. I've seen lots of people posting, and our friends, Daryl and Jen, they want us to go meet them there sometime. And that's in the Mark, which is near Watermark here in Horizon West as well. Oh yes, Miss Arlene, you had a great question. Yes, ma'am, I do. Kissimmee, Davenport. Yes, I forgot that whole little nugget too. So yes, ma'am. So it really is, when we talk again about the places that that I service, it's, yes, I can't believe I forgot that. Of course, Kissimmee and Davenport and kind of outskirts there, Auburndale, all of that, that kind of nugget as well. By the way, there's some great places in Kissimmee it's one of the top growing places nationally. So that's kind of good too. Anyway, so if you like sitcoms, Jay says, if I like sitcoms, you would highly recommend Superstore if you've never seen it. I actually have seen a few episodes. And honestly, I think I saw them on the plane, like not this trip, but like way back. Cause like sometimes you can find old TV shows, not old, but TV shows where you can watch an episode or two. So that's good. But I will see that. I'll see if I can find that one. And anyway, I think that might be it. Anyway, so when we get back together again next week, we're going to have some more information. I did want to tell you, however, this was not really on any of our what's brewing for today, but I did want to mention that the Dreamfinders community, the Mineola Hills, that area is ready for pre-sales in the next week or two. They have some of the best floor plans. I'm a big fan of Dreamfinders. I've had some great experiences with them. Generally speaking, that's not a blanket statement. I do have some clients that have not had a great experience, but again, it's a different area. So it's almost like it's a different market, not. So we're actually still working on that. But as I've always said, my measure of a builder is how they recover when something goes wrong. So we're still in the recovery phase of that one. But generally speaking, I've had great experience with them. And I'm excited about this new community because they are going to have some of the most iconic floor plans, the Anna Maria and the Avalon, with and without the bonus rooms. Oh my gosh, they just have so many. The Lexington, just so many of those floor plans. So they're going to be starting pre-sales pretty soon. And if you're not familiar, Meritage and Syntax, which is a division of Pulte. No, is that true? No, it's not. It's not Syntax. It's Starlight, which is a division of Ashton Woods, is already in the Villages at Mineola Hills. Dreamfinders is going to have their section. You've got Pulte with Willow Ridge. You've got Parkview just further down the street with Parkview at the Hills, which is Beezer. And then Land C is going to be opening up their next phase in Parkview at the Hills as well. So that whole little Mineola section, it's going crazy. So if you like the floor plans with Dreamfinders, if you are looking to get in new early phase, picking home sites, picking the whole kit and caboodle, right? Pick the floor plan, pick the design options. It's about ready for go time there. So give me a call and I'll put that up. Promo. Aha. Look at me being all smart. Do give me a call at 407-848-8042. You can text me, and people ask all the time, like, what's the best way to get in touch with you? The reality is texting first is better. I love to talk on the phone and I am happy to talk to you on the phone. But it's better if I schedule that time to talk to you on the phone because I tend to talk a lot, if you didn't know that already. And so I usually ask people to text first. And then what we do is we kind of go through those first couple of steps and I send you a link to my calendar. And then you can choose a time for us to talk on that calendar that's convenient for you and your family. If your whole family is talking or if it's just you, you can kind of coordinate a time. And then we will go from there. Excuse me. To find a time to chat more specifically about what it is that you're looking for. But text is usually the best and fastest way. You can certainly call once we schedule those times to chat on the phone. We'll go over all of your questions and kind of create a game plan and a timeline because everybody is different, my friends. I have clients all over the map and all over the timeline. And you might be ready to go now. You might be a year or two in the future. You might be 50-50 as to whether or not you want to move. I mean, it's literally, we just navigate everybody because everybody's different. So we just have to figure out what works best for you. So those phone calls usually is our time to coordinate that and make our own game plan. Anyway, other than that, my friends, I want to thank you for sharing my birthday morning with me. I am excited to be home. Again, I thank Eric for doing this last Monday. I'm sure you all had a good time with him. We are back at it. We still had videos that we posted over the week, even though I was gone. But we obviously have some more new communities to start to highlight. And again, if you've got any interest in anything, any questions, and join me again on Coffee Time next week. But you can also always text me, and we'll go over those questions as well. For all of you that are my clients, thank you for letting me be a part of your journey. And for those of you that are future clients, I can't wait. And for those of you who are just my friends and my buddies here on Coffee Time, I adore you, and I really do appreciate you guys so much being a part of this little thing that we do on Monday morning. So here's to you, my friends. Coffee Time is a wrap for today. I will see you next week with more information. Gather your questions. Let me know what you're thinking and what you need for me to find out for you. All right, guys, as always, please know that we love you. Please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you. And happy house hunting. Bye, guys. See you next week. Thanks again.